Hello and welcome to the Mummy Movement podcast with me, Sam Sardette, where we discuss the highs and lows of motherhood and along the way have some amazing mummy guests. Please leave a great review if you enjoy and follow us on Instagram at themummymovement.podcast for short clips. Or you can watch the full video on YouTube. Now sit back and enjoy. Welcome to the Mummy Movement with me, Sam Sardette. Today I have a fellow girl mama and also a school mum as well of mine, and a chef / foodie, Instagrammer, the lot. Lillia Farrow, thanks for coming. Right. Well, I feel like I chat to you every day anyway at school.
Yeah, and neighbours as well.
And neighbours, yeah, literally. So obviously today we are talking about sort of mum life and your journey as a mum. That is what the podcast is all about. But you are also an amazing cook, amazing chef, which you share on your Instagram, and I'm sure everyone that follows you can agree. It's like, save. I mean, I'm literally just like, oh my God, I really want to make that, and then never get round to it because I probably can't do it as well as you can. But we're going to show a little easy meal at the end of the podcast today, which is really exciting. So let's start with mum life.
Yeah.
Did you, I mean, going back, how old's your eldest now?
She'll be 12 she's got a little countdown on the phone. She said to me this morning, my birthday's in, I think 12 days. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 12.
Oh my God.
I know. She seems a lot older though, I think. It's weird, like having the oldest one always, I think, does seem older.
Yeah. And because you've got girls, it's like, so how old are all of yours now?
So 12, 8, nearly 9, and 4, nearly 5. So there's all like 3-4 years between all of them.
You've got 4.
3 girls, yeah.
3, yeah.
4 including the dog.
Yeah, oh my God, and the husband, yeah. I'm literally like, every time I think to go for third, I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. Like, did you always know you wanted to go a third time?
No, none of them were planned.
Really?
To be like saying that, like whenever I say that, I do think, God, we've been so lucky. Like we really have. Like I had Abby when I was 23, and then had Hallie when I was 30. So now she started school. It's like you get to that stage where you feel like you've been at home for a long time with the baby. But with her, like I was like, oh my God, like I think I always wanted 3 until I had 2. And then I was like, oh no, we're done. And then she was like a happy surprise, but still like it's always scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I know it's such a cliche thing to say, but she did really complete us. And we didn't find out we were having a girl. We waited till she arrived, and I think that's the thing, like having girls, or I think when you've got 2 of like either boys or girls, everyone's like, oh, I bet you really want a boy. And I was a bit like, oh, only because girls is all I know.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I don't know how I'd cope with a boy. And then we had Hallie, and it was another girl. And I do love having 3 girls, but it's full on.
It's a lot. Yeah. I feel like you're coming out the other end now.
Yeah, well, this is it. Like before she started primary last September, I was bereft. Like I was thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm going to miss her so much. And then she started, and I was like, oh, this is lovely. It's been like, I don't know when you remember first going back to work after maternity leave, like you think, oh my God, I've got to leave my baby and it's going to be horrible. But then you do it and you're like, oh, this is actually really nice.
Yeah,
it's you get that time back.
Once you break the ice of it, like I've still got, Sorella's a September baby, so she would be so ready to start this September, but she's not starting till next year.
Of course she's not. I keep thinking she's starting.
She's
September.
So ready.
Yeah.
But part of me is like, oh my God, I'm so ready for her to start, and she is so ready. But then part of me is like, oh no, she's my baby. I want to hold on to her. So all lovely surprises. I mean, you started young. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's funny because I didn't think I was young. Like back then, I didn't think I was young, and now, like when I think about it, when I think of like 23-year-olds now, I'm like, oh my God, they're so young.
It's so true though, because even like with me, like I fell pregnant at 27, and at the time you feel so grown up. You think you're so grown up in your 20s, and now you look back in your 30s and you think you had no clue, no clue. So how were your births? Were they okay?
They were all right. Yeah. I was lucky. I think my first one was tough, and I always say what I found hardest was like the recovery. I think you're so scared about actually giving birth and what that's going to feel like, but for me it was the shock of the recovery and being like not being able to sit down and all of that stuff. But they were all like very big babes. Like you see, my other half is tall.
True. Yeah.
So Abby was 9'4", Isla was 10'4", and Hallie was 9'10". But they were all long,
yeah, because they are tall, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all tall girls for their age. Like when you see them like with class friends and stuff, you can see that they're going to be tall, and I'm not short, so it's kind of like I'm sort of preparing myself that they all might be taller than me. But no, my births were okay.
Did you have natural?
Yeah, all natural and quick. I think once I had Hallie, she didn't. That was during COVID as well, so that was really tough. Because he wasn't allowed in until I was in active labour, and because they had to induce me in the end, like they broke my waters and I was on my own and all of that stuff. But nothing happened. So then they put me on the drip, and it was just really quick. But I was lucky with my births. I think it's just more that then recovery, and that period after that I think's always so shocking.
Yeah.
But I think more so with Abby, but even as it goes on, and then it's obviously having other children when you're then in that postpartum phase and having to like be there for everyone. That's what's
so
hard.
true.
Yeah.
And do you know what? It is also like, I feel like, number one, paternity leave for the dads, or whatever your situation for your other partner, is 2 weeks. Like it's like 2 weeks goes like that. I mean, some people take less. Some people, obviously, they're self-employed, they need to go back straight to work, and it's like, you're so right. Like I always say that as well. It's like you're so prepared for birth, but you're not really prepared for the aftermath.
Yeah, you can't be taught that.
I mean, to be fair, the aftermath is like the next 30 years, 30, 40 years of your life until you marry them up, and it's like, see you later. So but so before you had kids, obviously you went back to work or whatever, but did you go back to work? Like, what were you doing before you had kids work-wise? Were you a chef? Like,
so I when I left school, I went and did a professional chef diploma, which is like a 3-year course you can do in London, and it's essentially like a very full-on course where you'll go through all sections of the kitchen, and then as you go up through the years, then in your 3rd year you either specialise in larder, which is everything other than patisserie or front of house. So I did larder. When I left college, I went to work in restaurants. I think my first job might have been in a local restaurant. Do you remember Blue Mondays on Queen's Road?
Yeah.
And then it turned into like an Asian restaurant.
Yeah.
Where Prezzo was.
Yes, yeah.
So I worked there, and it was good fun for a while, but I don't think the business was being run properly.
Right.
And they basically just disappeared off the face of the earth. So then my best friend at the time, her dad worked in corporate catering.
Yeah.
And he worked in like a bank in Canary Wharf, and he said there's a job come up on the top floor where they feed the executives. It's the guy, the head chef was like previously from a Michelin-starred restaurant, and it's like fine dining, and it just blew my mind because I didn't know you were able to do fine dining in that setting.
Yeah.
Because when I was at college, we used to go and do stages, which is where you would go and work in like Michelin-starred restaurants for the day, and it is full on. Like it is that. I can't even explain it. Like,
I can
it's
imagine.
a buzz, but it's also terrifying.
Yeah.
And I went for the interview and then ended up working at this bank, going into corporate catering, and it was amazing because I was able to like use my skills that I'd learned, do the fine dining. It was very much treated like a Michelin-starred restaurant.
Yeah.
There was still the pressure and the buzz of being in a professional kitchen, but I worked from 7 till 3 Monday to Friday.
Oh,
so like
wow.
as a chef, it was
Yeah.
like I felt like I'd hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
And then we ended up with contract catering. Sometimes it can change over hands. So then I moved over to Financial Times, and then I got pregnant with Abby.
Right.
So, and then at that time we were still living with my mum and dad, and we was trying to buy our own first home.
Yeah.
So after I had her, I went back to work. I think when I did my full maternity leave, went back to work full time because we needed to in order to get the mortgage.
Yeah.
And then I think I was then able to go part time, and then I stayed within that company until I left in 2019 to do Instagram full time, do content full time. Yeah.
So when did you start your Instagram then? You just sort of started posting bits and bobs here and there. So was it more when you became a mum?
Yes, well, so this is like a long story, but I'll try and keep it short. So I started it in 2014 when Abby was 1.
Yeah.
I was in like a much bigger body than I am now, and I remember feeling like I wanted to lose a bit of weight. I'd always been big, like my whole teenage years, and I think after having her, I got to the point where I was just like so unhappy within myself. And I remember looking on Instagram, this was a very new thing then, and I saw Slimming World, and I was like, oh my god, these people are eating like pasta and potatoes and all this stuff. And I remember saying to my mum and dad, I'm going to go, and my dad was almost like, what? And then I remember I started my Instagram page sharing my meals and sharing my weight loss. And because I then lost quite a substantial amount of weight, that, you know, this was like 10 years ago. So before, you know, we knew about like diet culture and all of those things. And it was very different. And my following just grew and grew. And then when I had Isla in 2016, that's when Instagram stories started. So then it sort of gave me almost like a gateway to like share what was happening in my day-to-day life more. And I was like on stories like this newborn baby, and she had cow's milk protein intolerance. So she was like a very unhappy baby for a good few months, and it was tough.
So like you started sharing more like your mum journey as well.
I just started sharing like more day-to-day life, and like I think that's one thing I've even now like pride myself on, is being authentic and just sharing like what is going on in life.
Yeah.
And it just carried on growing, and it got to the point where I was like being sent like things for free, and I was saying, well, this is lovely. And then I started getting paid to do stuff, and I was like, oh my god, this is like wild. And then it's funny because then you just like, for me even now, I'm just still learning every week. It's just
but I'm the same, but I feel like, I mean, I've only done mine properly since about 20, like when I think I started taking it seriously like for the last 3-4 years, but I feel like every year Instagram changes, every year social media changes, even every month. And it's like, even though you could start it years ago, it's so different now.
You have to adapt.
So obviously you then went full time.
So in 2019,
did you do that as well, just like because it was easier to juggle around mum life as well?
So I had Isla, she was then 3, and by that point I was working 2 evenings a week for the company, which kind of fitted in a bit because I was able to do the school run every morning, and then two afternoons someone else would do pick up, and I was able to go into work. And then I worked sort of like did 2 shifts a week, and again I loved it. I loved being able to be part of a team and a kitchen, and just the social aspect of actually leaving the house and going into work. I think I do still miss that. But there was a lot going on in our lives at that time. My partner was in recovery, and he needed a lot more support. And Isla was 3, Abby was 6, and it just felt the right time. I was in the position that I was literally going into work just to get out of the house.
Yeah.
We didn't need that stream of income.
Yeah.
We was able to survive on what I was earning from Instagram and obviously what Kieran was doing with his business. And it just felt like the right time to leave. And actually, then, so that was in September, and then 6 months later we were in lockdown, which was actually, it did feel like perfect timing, because then obviously everyone's on their phones. I think 2020 was probably like one of my busiest years in terms of like content and all of that stuff and work, because everything was all of a sudden online. And luckily, I mean, I say luckily, I think this is a common misconception. I think what we do is people don't realise the work that goes into it, but that's fine.
It is really hard.
I know I work hard, and I think that is, you know, I'm still able to do what I do.
Of course, So you mentioned about your partner being in recovery. I think you're quite open about, like, which again is why your page is so good. You are relatable, you know, you're very open, and I feel like you've built like an amazing community. So like, how, like, you're quite open about your relationship with your husband and kind of like navigating your different sort of like ups and downs through you know, I suppose through having kids as well. It's just so much to it. So why do you feel like it's important to kind of share that for your following? Like, do you feel like it helps a lot of mums as well? And
I think it does, because I know when we're struggling, which we have a lot of ups and downs for many different reasons, but I think you feel so alone, and I think that's still one big taboo with relationships. But the tricky thing is because people don't talk about it, because again, it's like, oh, you're airing your dirty laundry or whatever. But again, it's also that there are two people involved. He's not online, like his business is online, he does that, and I am. So it's a very fine line to tread, because I have to obviously take into consideration that it involves him and our relationship, and obviously, and then we've got, you know, kids that, again, like Abby's getting older now, some of her friends follow me, there's all of that stuff. But saying all of that, I think that I just sometimes, when I'm struggling and we're in that place, it's so easy to go on and like see, you know, look how happy they are, look, you know, they've got it so easy, and like get into that headspace and just think, God, we're the only ones who are just in this really shit place, and why do we have to work so hard? But I think that's, again, like, I don't think we were ever told that to have a good relationship you have to work it.
Oh yeah, marriage is, and it sounds like you've been together from a young age as well.
Yeah, like, and we've both changed so much over that time. But my mum's a sex therapist, so she'll like do like,
shut up.
But she's also done a lot of therapy herself, and like, you know, like my mum and my dad to me are like absolute goals, but they're very open, you know, that didn't come easy. But I think it is a shock, because obviously when you're a kid, your parents aren't telling you, or shouldn't be like telling you their troubles, and you shouldn't be aware of it. But it's like,
do you know what though? I agree with you. I think, like, at the end of the day, it's your platform to share. Like, to be fair, like, you know, touch wood, me and my husband are all right, and the toughest thing is, like, I moan about the everyday stuff, like within doing this, like, you know, we've got a good dynamic, but I think it is really important to be open about, like, you know, okay, people do go through tough times, which you're showing, but you're working at it, and it like takes work. And I mean, what troubles do you think are the hardest to face? Do you think it's like, do you think parenthood, or is it just like a mixture of things? As just how you've been together from such a young age?
Yeah, I think it's everything. I think it's that navigating, that you're both changing and growing as people, and like finding that space to sort of communicate. I think our biggest thing is communicating and having that time to really talk to each other, and like, we're both running our own businesses, and then you've got the kids in there. Like, it's tricky. His younger brother lives with us as well, so that has its
oh my God,
troubles.
how I couldn't do that.
He is how old's Jimmy? Jimmy is 25. Yeah,
really?
So it's just a lot, but I think think that is what I think if we were communicating better, everything would be easier. But it's just then like prioritizing each other above work, kids, all of that stuff. Like it's very easy. Like we'll come home, it's not the normal evening. We're both like, even yesterday, you know, he come home from work, he's still on the phone sorting out materials for tomorrow and where the boys need to be at XYZ.
Yeah.
And then I'm still in the living room editing or doing things that I need to do. But then he took the kids out for a bit. And then I went and took over the kids, and he comes back and has a shower. And it's just, time is very stretched, but equally it's not prioritizing, I think. But it's so hard. Like when you're running your business, you know, you can't, we've got to earn money. So
it's that balance, isn't it? It's like, okay, I need to make money. I've got my business for my family, but then it's, you need to make sure that you're actually enjoying that money as a family as well, and enjoying things together. But I think, like, honestly, I mean, you do see a lot of people, you know, opening up about divorce. I think at our age as well, it happens. Like, you know, you're really brave to the fact that you are openly talking about the issues that you have as parents, as partners, whatever. But, you know, you're trying to work through them rather than it resulting to divorce. But it isn't easy. It isn't easy.
This is it. And I said, this conversations I've had, you know, even with him, we've said, like, it almost feels like the easier option sometimes to just walk away, because it's like the work involved in staying together is really hard. But then in those moments you look around, you look at the three, you know, our three beautiful girls, the life that we're trying to build together, you know, it's everything we've both ever wanted. And I think it's just pushing through when you're really in it. But...
you get in there, girl. Do you know what? Honestly, I always say to my husband now, I was like, if we ever did split up, I'd just rather be on my own. Men are hard work. They think we're hard work. They are the hard work.
Have you seen the women? Lately, I've seen this woman go viral. It's these two mums that they've both seen mums that they've ended up living together, and they're like co-parenting together, like like a mum brilliant. And I always say to my like best mates, I'm like, if we all live together.
Do you know what? It would. It's like when you done a mum holiday. Oh my god, I'm so gonna do that this summer. Like I feel like as well, like with mums, like we just get it. And with dads, they just get stuck in. Oh, honestly, I do continue that. And then I feel like as well, like with your sort of going back to, like, you know, your Instagram, your food stuff and that, and fitting it in around the kids and everything. So you started it with doing Weight Watchers, which is mad. I can't even imagine you being big, because you are so, you know, you look great. Do you try and make sure that you know, create sort of like nice balance, like health? Like, what's your daily stuff with the kids? Do you sometimes chuck in Mackie days with them, or are you quite good with your food?
No, like this is another thing that everyone's like, oh my god, your kids, like, do they eat that? And I'm like, no, like half of the stuff I like, they don't eat. But this is the thing, it's so, when I come back from holiday, I was like, right, I'm going to start filming a new series where I'm going to do all of our like realistic family meals. And so I've been home maybe 3-4 weeks. I think I've filmed 5, because it's highlighted to me how little they actually eat. Like, I'm like, oh my god, guys, like, come on, we need to try more things. And to be fair, that like even last night there was a big like argument about dinner, because they were all like, oh, I'm not eating. I was like, can you all just try it? And they tried it and they did eat it. So it's
that's
like,
what it is, isn't it?
But I do think a lot of the time it is probably me just being lazy. Like, I'm just going to bung something in the air fryer because I know they're going to eat it, and 100%. Then I don't need to have an argument. But what I will say is they, you know, they do eat the fruit and veg that they do eat. I will offer it at every meal, because I'm like, and that is one thing I think you have to persevere with things. Like, if you put something on their plate, they go, oh, I'm not trying that. Like, just keep going. Because especially now having Abby, who's nearly 12, I can see that she has, you know, as she's got older, she eats more and more things and tries more and more things.
That's what it is. It's an age thing as well. But you're right. Like, it is the easy option, especially if you've been out and about working all day, whatever. Whack a pizza in the oven, or put some nuggets in the air fryer, a bit of cucumber on the side. But then I'll make, for example, me and my husband something, bit of like you know, so even if it's a bit spicy, and then I find now Cece, who's 6, will be like, "Can I try that?"
Yeah.
And she tries it. She's like, "Oh yeah, I like it." And I do also think what's helped my kids is forcing them to have school dinners.
Yeah.
Instead of making them a packed lunch. So she started trying new things, which I think is good. But day to day, do you eat quite well? Do you eat everything that you make? Because I look at this thing and I'm just like, oh my god, I could literally, I'd be huge because I'd eat so much stuff. It like looks amazing.
Well, yeah, no, I do. I do eat quite well. I think in the week when I'm working and I'm busy, I will just obviously eat what I'm making. But again, I've got like friends. I'll be like, I've got this, I've got that, and I'll give things away because I can't eat everything. And I do like a bit of freelance stuff as well, so that I'm making a lot of food. So I try and divvy it out or freeze it.
You live down the road for me, just be like, knock on my door.
Meals on wheels.
Yeah. You've got all the school ones around here. We'll be all like, yeah, just deliver.
Yeah, I should do.
We should do a pickup. Just say, girls, I'm making these dishes today. If anyone wants anything.
Yeah, I should. But I think generally we do eat quite well. And the thing is, I enjoy good food. I enjoy my veg and my fruit and all of that stuff. I love like lentils, chickpeas, all of that sort of stuff. But again, I didn't used to eat any of that.
Yeah.
Like when the girls were kicking off yesterday, I was trying to be like, keep calm. I was like, oh, I didn't eat much when I was little, but now I like everything. And it's just,
Well, on that note, we're going to get you to cook a nice meal then, which, you know, you can have for... This is going to be like an easy mum meal. You can talk us through it. We're going to cook it in the kitchen. But what is it called? What are you making today?
So it's called butter chicken curry, but it's not actually butter. The butter is coming from butternut squash.
Oh, I love that.
I always feel like I'm winning at life when the girls eat it because it's got veg, it's got lentils, chicken, and it's really easy.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, let's go and cook. Talk us through each day. So obviously for people watching in, they can sort of see what you're doing. But people listening, if you just sort of tell them what ingredients you're using and how to do it. So one pot, one pan.
In one pan. So we have got some onions in here that I have fried off with curry spices, garlic and ginger.
Love that.
Just till they're nice and caramelised. And then we're just going to add in some butternut squash. You can use fresh or frozen because the best thing about that is in the supermarket, you can get it in the freezer. It's already been peeled. It's already been chopped.
True, actually, yeah.
The freezers in Waitrose are packed in, so I didn't have any.
Oh, really? Okay. And what is the difference in fruit, like frozen and fresh?
So frozen, the difference in a recipe like this is if you use frozen, it's got a lot more moisture in it, so you might not need as much liquid. So just bear that in mind. But I think in the recipe that I've got for this on my page, it does say that all in the caption.
Perfect.
And then we've added some red lentils, which again really good for like protein, fibre.
Yeah.
And they will help fill you up. So and then I'm going to add a tin of coconut milk.
Amazing. I mean, it smells amazing. So right, so we've got the chopped onions with a bit of curry sauce.
It's got curry spices, garlic and ginger.
Love that.
Then I've added the red lentils, butternut squash, coconut milk.
So it's literally just chuck it all in. Once you fry the onions in,
that is it.
Chuck it all in.
And then we're going to bring it up to a simmer.
Amazing.
And then once the butternut squash is soft, we can just blitz up the sauce and then we'll add in the chicken and that is it.
So, oh my God, that is so easy. Yeah. So when you do the, so while you're making this, you could chuck the chicken in with, obviously you've pre-made it today, which is great for time, but I suppose you could chuck chicken in with the onions first, couldn't you?
So normally I'd fry the chicken off with the onions, or I would just dice it up and roast it and add it in at the end like I've done here. Just depends on the day.
Yeah.
Like time wise.
Yeah. So this is like, I feel like even though it is obviously summer at the moment, I feel like this is actually still quite a really light meal.
Yeah.
What would you have rice with this? Or?
Yeah, so I just with the kids, I'll have rice and I'll probably have rice and like a bit of tender stem broccoli with it.
Nice.
poppadoms, all of the usual. And the great thing is as well is this freezes so well. You can just bung it in the freezer.
Yeah.
Things like this, if I was making it, I would tend to do a double batch, because that is like one of my biggest hacks that I do with like the family meals. Things like bolognese, chili con carne. You're just doing a little bit of extra chopping. If you're making it, you might as well double up, because then you can eat one, freeze one.
Right.
Or even things like chili con carne, I will make that and we'll have chili, and then I'll put it in the freezer, and then maybe the week after I'll get it out and I'll make it into enchiladas, burritos, things like that.
Yes, I need to start doing that. I feel like I waste a lot of food in the end. I mean, to be fair, like we do end up eating it, or it'll be like the next day. Whereas then if I froze it, then I suppose it would like keep it so much better. But what would you, I mean, with this meal, I mean, it's so easy, especially for mums as well. What are the spices that you use for the chicken?
So on the chicken and in the pan, I just use medium curry spice, cumin and turmeric.
And you can buy that as like pots?
Yeah, they're just powders. But if you prefer like a certain curry flavour, you can always just get a pre-made paste if you want it as a tikka or korma, all of them ones. You could just do it as a pre-made paste.
Yeah.
I just prefer this because it's just that kind of lighter flavour. I think the kids, they can be a bit fussy sometimes.
Yeah.
But obviously if you were doing like a tikka, it probably look a bit different, bit of a different colour.
Yeah. And I feel like as well with sometimes as well, as a mum, you think it's easy option to buy curry jar or this is actually so easy, but you wouldn't, and it's healthy.
Yeah.
Especially with like red lentils and stuff. I feel like that's really good protein and everything like that. So like day to day, you eat, I mean, you look amazing. Like, do you work out, or like what's your you look so amazing, like slim.
I do a lot of Pilates at the moment.
Right. Do you know what? I feel like Pilates, I need to get into this, because obviously I do my home workouts, but I feel like everyone that started Pilates recently, obviously it's quite a big thing. I try and do like Pilates style workouts incorporated in my mummy movement stuff.
Nice.
But I feel like it like literally changes your body. Like it works every part of your body, doesn't it?
It's good. When I first started going and I was weight training, I was leave Pilates and I'd be like feeling muscles that I didn't even know existed. But I think when I go, I mean, with any exercise you do just switch off, but the thing with reformer is because you're on them beds that like move, like you have to really concentrate. It's like your balance, it's all of it. But I just love it. It's a nice vibe as well where I go. It's not it's all different people. Kieran comes with me sometimes.
Oh, really?
It's lovely.
And how do you find fitting it in around the girls? Do you kind of just like alternate with your husband? Like, I'll go,
very much so. Like in the week, I'll go in the morning. If I'll try and sort of prioritise either doing that or a dog walk before I start work. It depends on the day or the week. But at the weekend, it's very much, we'll take turns. Like Saturday morning, he normally goes to the gym, but I don't know about your husband, because I know they go to the same gym, but he will go to the gym. He will be there for 4 hours.
But do you know why that is? You know why that is? Because it's the bloody David Lloyd.
Yeah, he'll go in the gym for an hour and a half, in the spa, have a bit of breakfast, and then on the Sunday morning I go to Pilates, but I'm an hour. And I'm
exactly home. In and out, because I always say it to my husband, mate, he literally lives there. He'll go for a gym sesh, hour gym sesh. Then he'll go and have an hour in the bloody spa. Then he goes and has a coffee, or he'll play like paddle. This is the new thing, paddle. Like, given he'll go at 6 a.m. But then it's like, but then they're like rocking up home 10 o'clock. I'm like, are you all right? I would feel guilty doing that.
Same. Or his other thing will be like, oh, I'll take the kids to school on Friday. But obviously he'll then get up, go to the gym, and he'll get home at the minute we need to be leaving.
Oh, of course.
I'm like, it's not actually helpful, is it? Like, can you actually be here to do all the other stuff?
Yeah,
just take the glory of doing the actual dropping off.
Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%. That's blokes all over. I suppose maybe I just haven't got. Maybe I've got like, I need to just like put my foot down a bit more with him, because I feel like he just, I don't know if it's a typical bloke thing, but he just gets away with murder, my fella. He just does what he wants.
It's hard though. I think with Kieran, it's like, I know that's his like survival, is he needs that gym and all that stuff to like literally keep himself straight. So it's like, I feel like I can't say anything. I just have to be like, that's his time.
Yeah.
But it's hard fitting it in. But I think, again, it's important that we both have that time to say to the girls, like, no, I'm, having that time to myself. And, I mean,
I'm exactly the same. I feel like as well, like, it is, we all need, like, we're still people at the end of the day, and we need to give each other, like, our partners time for themselves to have that. Honestly, if I didn't let him go and train, he'd be an absolute miserable bastard around. I don't want that. No. I don't want him around the house.
No.
So I'm just like, you go and play your puzzle. You go and do what you need to do. And then I feel like we're our own worst enemies in a sense, because he'll be like, all right, you go and do your thing. I'm like, okay. But like you said, we'll go. Let's say I'll go get my nails done for an hour, or I'll go and pop to the gym, whatever. I'll do my little workout. But then we're like, right, that's enough for me now.
I'm done.
Happy, yeah. And like you said, it's like we'll spend hours getting the kids ready.
Yeah.
We'll spend hours like getting everything ready, getting everyone out the door, and then they just like, right, let's chuck on my shoes and go.
Yeah.
Now that is looking.
So I'm making a right mess.
So make the mess, girl.
I'm going to add a little bit of water to it. So,
okay. Yeah. Amazing. I mean, it smells so good. And the fact I feel like it is just a one chuck pan, it just makes the world of difference. So you'd because I always think, like, is it best to buy fresh or buy frozen with fruit and veg? Does it matter?
I don't think so. I think it depends on the recipe. There'll be certain things like this. If you're using frozen veg, it's always going to have more moisture in it. But generally, it's cheaper, it's fresher if it's been frozen. Like things like frozen peas, frozen soybeans. I love things like that. Even chucking a salad, like it just makes it so much easier. And actually, the girls, I don't know about yours, but that is one thing they love is their berries. They will steam through fresh berries, and things like strawberries you can't really get frozen, but they like frozen raspberries and things like that. Frozen blueberries we buy.
Do you know what? I've never thought about that, to give them like frozen fruit instead of like maybe like an ice lolly or something. Like it's always fresh, and obviously fresh fruit is so expensive. But
I will literally eat a bowl of frozen raspberries and put melted Nutella drizzled on it, and she'll just sit with a spoon, and then I'm like, yes.
That's a great.
Why have I never thought of that?
That's
the
so
issue
good.
Is the Nutella is just making sure she just, because otherwise she'll be like, larraping it up.
They'll lick it off the spoon. Like I totally agree. But that is a great idea, actually, having, instead of maybe ice cream or like an ice lolly, frozen fruit with a bit of
I do love that.
That is really good, actually.
But I don't think it is much difference, and it is cheaper. And there are so many ways you can, like things like peas. I'll use them to like bulk out pasta if I'm making. And again, it's like a good source of protein and fibre.
Yes, I do like. I feel like peas. You're right, and it's so easy chucking it in. I do buy a lot of like frozen broccoli as well, because I find that's easy. But then I've heard that if you boil it for too long,
with this it goes like quite like mushy, whereas I prefer like my vegetable crunchy. But there are certain things like pasta bakes and things like that are great for frozen broccoli. You can chuck it in there. But it's things like cauliflower cheese I probably would use fresh, because otherwise she's just going to have like this. It'll be like Toby Carvery mush.
Okay, that's good to know though, that it's like, I just feel like obviously people that don't follow you need to follow you just to see that it's like your meals are, I mean, they all look amazing, but when you actually, I feel like when you actually do them, all you have to do is do it once. And then I feel like once you know what you're doing, it is that, I don't know, it's just, I suppose it's like, for me, if I saw this on your page, I'd be like, oh God, that looks amazing, but I wouldn't be able to do that. But once you've done it once, you know what you're doing. It's so easy. It's that repeat, isn't it?
The thing is as well, like, I try not to do like, when you go on a recipe, you'll often watch videos and you think, oh my God, that looks so amazing. And you'll get the recipe up and there's like an ingredient list like this. and you're never going to do it. Like, really, so I've got so many things I've saved, and I am like, I haven't got the time, especially because I'm cooking a lot anyway. If I'm actually cooking just for pleasure, it needs to be quick, it needs to be easy. I don't need to be going to the shop for things I'm going to use once and then they're going to sit in the back of the cupboard.
Well, that's it. Another thing, that's what I find as well. It's like getting veg or get like the that's what I'm saying, like with buying frozen veg, it's a lot easier, but also getting ingredients that you can use over for other things as well, not just
like versatile, and you can use in many different things
in different which this is. And I always want to cook with butternut squash. I didn't even know that they had it frozen, so I'd love to get that. That is really good
for something like this, for sauces, pastas. I love frozen butternut squash, but again, like things like this, I would blend it up because the kids, if they see it like that, they will not eat it. If you blend it, they just think it's curry sauce.
Yes, true. You're blending it up now.
So we just try and, I'll probably say it when I'm not blending, so we just blend it up till it's nice and smooth. It depends on your preference and your kids, I guess, really. Like, I would eat it like this with the chicken in it, but I tend to use a blender and blend it really smooth for the girls. But I'll just give it a little rough blend for us.
Nice. It looks so nice. That was so easy as well.
It's really
so easy. So that is literally only a few ingredients. Super easy.
And minimal washing up as well when it's in one pan.
Well, this 100%. That is so true.
I don't want to put that on your worktop in case it.
Right,
so when it's blended up, you can just add the chicken in. And that is it. Another thing as well that I tend to do with something like this is a tin of chickpeas. Maybe just to add more fibre, more protein. If your kids will eat them, it's a great way to make it cheaper because you can use less chicken. Throwing a tin of chickpeas is still going to be filling, it's still going to be nutritious. I just think things like that, they tend to quite like the texture of starting baked bean, isn't it? I think when they first see it, they might be like, oh, what's that?
Perfect. So then you can literally dish that up with some rice, potatoes, whatever it is, and that's done. Amazing. Thanks, babe.
That's all right.
Thank you.